Stay safe, stay curious. This is Nightmare Stories.
We all know the feeling of excitement when a package arrives at our doorstep. The anticipation as we rip through the packaging to reveal what's inside. But what if the package is unexpected? What if it comes with no sender information and its contents are unsettling? Strap in as we delve into 3 harrowing tales of unknown packages that deliver far more than just items. These are stories you'll wish you could return to sender. Are you ready? Let's begin. Story number 1. The delivery that wasn't ordered. It was past 10 p.m. when Emily heard a knock at her door. She wasn't expecting anyone. Her friends knew she preferred text messages to surprise visits. The knock came again, more insistent this time. With a sigh, she got up from her desk and headed toward the door. Peeking through the peephole, she saw a delivery man holding a package. Odd. She hadn't ordered anything. She opened the door, just a crack. I think you have the wrong address. I didn't order anything." The delivery man looked at her with blank eyes and said, "It's addressed to you, Emily Thompson. Apartment 3B. Sign here, please." Something felt off, but her name and apartment number were correct. How bad could it be? She scribbled her signature on the pad and took the package. "Thanks," she muttered, closing the door hurriedly. Back in her apartment, she examined the box. No return address, only her name, elegantly printed on the label. Curiosity gnawed at her. She grabbed a pair of scissors and sliced through the tape, lifting the flaps of the box to reveal a porcelain doll. It looked antique, its eyes eerily lifelike. Emily recoiled at first, but then thought it might be a belated birthday gift from an eccentric relative. She picked up the doll and checked for any note or identifier. Nothing. The clock struck midnight. Emily decided it was time for bed. She left the doll on the living room table and retreated to her bedroom. Just as she was about to drift into sleep, she heard it. The faintest sound of footsteps in her living room. Her heart pounding, she thought of the doll. No, it couldn't be. She mustered the courage to investigate. What she found froze her blood. The doll was no longer on the table. She heard a whisper coming from behind her. "You opened the package. Now you belong to me." Emily spun around and came face to face with the porcelain doll, except now its eyes were no longer glassy. They were alive, looking at her with an unholy glee. Emily screamed, rushing to the door, but it wouldn't budge. A sinister laugh echoed around her. "You let me in, Emily, and now I'm here to stay." As dawn broke, the neighbors found Emily's door wide open, the apartment empty save for a single, innocent-looking porcelain doll on the living room table. Story number 2. Boxed In. A claustrophobic tale. Karen had always been the type to find intrigue in the mundane, so when she stumbled upon an unmarked package at her doorstep, her curiosity got the best of her. It was small, roughly the size of a shoebox, wrapped in unremarkable brown paper. No return address, no sender's name, just her own details scribbled on a sticker. Unperturbed, or perhaps a little excited, Karen cut through the tape and lifted the lid. Inside was another box, just slightly smaller. She opened that one too, finding another box within. "What kind of joke is this?" she mumbled, intrigued but slightly annoyed. She continued to open box after box, each smaller than the last, until she was down to a box that could fit in the palm of her hand. When she opened this final box, it was empty. Or so she thought. As she peered inside, the tiny box seemed to expand. It grew larger and darker until Karen realized she wasn't looking into the box anymore. She was in it. The walls of the box closed in around her, wooden panels stretching into darkness. She tried to scream, but no sound came out. In the corner of this claustrophobic space, A message was carved into the wood. Curiosity trapped the cat. Panicked, Karen pounded on the walls, her nails scratching against the hard surface. It felt like the box was shrinking, the walls inching closer and closer. Suddenly, she felt her phone vibrate in her pocket. It was a text message. The screen read, "Would you like to exit the box? Reply yes or no." Frantically, Karen typed yes and hit send. The walls immediately started to recede, and her cramped surroundings began to expand. She found herself back in her living room, the tiny box sitting innocently on her coffee table. But something had changed. On the lid of the box, new words had appeared. Some doors should never be opened. Some boxes should never be unboxed. And so, Karen learned her lesson. She never opened an unknown package again, forever haunted by the box that almost boxed her in. Story number 3. Return to Sender, a dark reversal. Mark had always been one to enjoy the thrill of receiving packages. Online shopping was his guilty pleasure. The adrenaline rush of clicking "Buy Now." The anticipation while tracking his shipments, it was addictive. So, when a nondescript package arrived at his doorstep, his first thought was that he'd forgotten about an order. He carefully opened the package, expecting to find a new gadget or some collectible merchandise. But what he found was utterly perplexing. Inside the box were several objects: an old baseball glove he'd lost years ago, a wristwatch that had been missing, and most shocking of all, a small journal he thought he'd left behind when he moved out of his childhood home. Baffled and a bit unnerved, Mark inspected the package more closely and found a note tucked underneath the items. It read, "Thanks for the memories. Now it's your turn." Confused, Mark turned the note over, half expecting more information. Instead, he found a simple instruction: place something of emotional value in the box and return to sender. No address was given, just these cryptic words. A sense of dread washed over him, but Mark couldn't resist following the instruction. He took off his wedding ring, a precious item indeed, and placed it carefully in the box. After sealing it, he left the package on his doorstep, somehow knowing it would find its way back to the sender. That night, he couldn't sleep. The emptiness on his ring finger felt like a gaping void, consuming him in regret. But just as the sun began to rise, another knock sounded at his door. It was the package, returned. Eager but anxious, Mark ripped it open. His wedding ring was there, resting atop another note. This one read, "Congratulations, you've just exchanged something truly valuable. Prepare to receive in kind." For weeks afterward, Mark's life spiraled into a series of unfortunate events. He lost his job, his marriage strained, and friendships unraveled. It was as if his emotional investment in the box had triggered a calamitous return. It wasn't until he found another note under his pillow that he understood the depth of his mistake. The note read, "Your debts are never just material. Thanks for the emotional exchange." From then on, Mark lived his life with caution, painfully aware that some gifts are actually burdens, and some exchanges are dark transactions that can never be undone. And there you have it, dear viewers. Remember, the world around us holds mysteries we can't always comprehend, and some packages, once opened, reveal horrors beyond imagination. As you go about your day, think twice before you unbox the enigmatic, for the secrets they hold might be better left undisturbed. Until next time, stay vigilant and keep your doors locked. You never know what might come knocking.